know some good attributes about you. And I'll say them here in public. Because we have come here to demonstrate that we are willing to meet you in broad daylight, because we can't meet you any other time. I don't know where others meet you, but for us this is our only chance to meet you. I have a gift for the national chairman of the NRM, which I would also like to hand over to him on behalf of a party he once belonged to. Maybe this will go into his museum. The President of the Republic vowed that by 2021 there will be no opposition party left. Here we are talking about strengthening all political parties. That is why it is a paradox. On our part, as the opposition, we also threatened that we would evict him before the next elections. And here we are talking about peaceful transition. Dear friends, this process can lead to a national conversation. We can have a caucus of the whole country, actually. We have no more excuses not to talk to each other. I was looking for an excuse not to come. I failed. So I am here because we have no more excuses. We believe in a lot of excuses. As my brother Brian Kagoro said, that everybody blames everything on the president of the country. In the Bible, there's the story of that man who was lying by the pool at Bethesda. For years, he was crippled. According to the Bible, an angel came every afternoon, once in a while, and stirred up that pool. And if you were strong enough to jump in the pool at that moment, you would be healed of whatever ailment you have. But that man had been lying there. Somehow he could not get himself to the pool in time. So when Jesus passed by, he gave Jesus a litany of excuses. You know, I'm too weak. When the angel stirs the water, there's nobody to lift me and throw me in the water. I've been here for years. Jesus asked only one question. Do you want to get well? All their excuses are irrelevant. What do you want? I think it is important that Ugandans tell each other what they want. And we told each other what we want today. In simple terms, instead of giving excuses. Dear friends, our country has had a tragic history. But I have confidence in the future. We cannot be judged on what we promise. A check has a face value, but until it is cashed, it is just a piece of paper. So can you take our words today to the bank and get anything? We have had some difficult times, and I believe these have necessitated that we talk to each other. We can't go on like this. We have even seen blood on the streets. I recall the walk to work. Police bullets and tear gas. In one instance, when the commotion died down and when the smoke had floated away, one baby, Nanyonga, lay dead. When the Honorable Kasule Lumumba confirmed that President Museveni had finally agreed to sit with us, I asked myself, if I were the president of the country and I had 80% of parliament, would I want to talk to an absolute minority? Sometimes I think like that. If I had the army which I firmly controlled, and the police, and I was also very well respected in the region, in his wisdom, has become aware that these few people represent a very powerful current. Without going into details, I want to assure you delegates that we have not insulated the president from the electricity which is in the population. We have conducted it in its full voltage, and that formed the subject of the summit. I won't go into details because while politicians argue, children and mothers continue to die in ill-equipped hospitals run by poorly paid health workers. While the politicians argue, rural farmers, the backbone of our economy, cannot access credit, fertilizers, machinery, and irrigation. They lose their harvest to the vagaries of poor harvest, post-harvest handling, and even exploitative middlemen who take advantage of the lack of cooperatives. Rural populations are abandoning the countryside and joining the army of the rural poor and unemployed. Those who are desperate resort to crime. Dialogue is not about talking. Somebody defined a fanatic as somebody who approaches any question with an open mouth and a closed mind. iPod is about opening our mouths, but also opening our minds. Not opening our mouths and closing our minds. Today, we have started the process of diffusing tensions because we have found some points of agreement. A good starting point is the love for our people and our country. We need to find common ground, however small. We believe very strongly that if we ignore dialogue, then we will have cursed the future generations. It is our duty that we listen to each other with sincerity. iPod can be a source of hope. I want to thank the media for all the controversy they created around the iPod summit. iPod now is the most Googled thing in Uganda. When you start Googling iPod summit, before you have finished the words, it will come automatically from Google. It means all Ugandans are asking, what is this thing called iPod summit? So you have done a good job. As I close, there are many cynics and skeptics out there, but we should, by our words and actions, send out a clear message that what we are engaged in is not just about leaders, politics, and politicians. It is about Uganda. It is about our country and putting it first. Our goal should be that Uganda should see for once what we have never seen before: peaceful transition. That for once we should have an army that lasts more than one regime. That we break the cycle of violent and unconstitutional changes of government. Mr. President, it would be wonderful if you attended the swearing in of a president that is not you. We all have to live up to the high expectations our people have of you and us.